after hyping it in commercials and on the company website as the feud's violent blow-off match heading into Monday Night Nitro opened with a different format than usual, starting the show with a Sting vs Vampiro House of Pain cage match, going 6 minutes with Sting going over to open Nitro above the range of the last 2 weeks, doing a 2.8 rating. Nitro climbed throughout the first tower with the Goldberg monster truck again shown in the background while Kronik arrived to the building, continuing to tease the possibility of Goldberg appearing at any moment, with the first tower after the Sting Vampiro match also seeing a Kronik vs Wall and Douglas tag match in a Terry Funk vs Filthy Animals hardcore title match, each going 4 minutes. With Ric Flair still one of the consistent TV draws in the business when put in the right position, with him still heavily featured including the show Tonight built around him, the news came out on Flair extending his WCW contract for another year with the new incentive-based deal now expiring in early 2002, coming after rumors earlier in the year of Flair asking for his release, with a rumored meeting with Vince McMahon confirming to him that he will have a top spot in the WWF, including talks of a potential Rock vs Flair feud. With the Flair vs Russo feud doing strong numbers in their personal promo segments on both Nitro and Thunder over the last month, Russo and David took the program to the next level during the week with them shooting a video at Flair's home, with Rick, after hinting at getting out of the business last week, arriving to the building searching for Russo before going to the ring to call him out before the tape airs, just as Russo instructed the production crew to get the footage ready. Seeing David and Russo playing the reporter going all over Rick's house, with David giving examples of how Rick never cared about him in different comedic scenarios, ending up with them meeting the rest of the Flair family before leaving the house, with this segment taking place in the final unopposed quarter, seeing Nitro jump over 800,000 viewers to a 4.1 rating, Nitro's highest rated segment in 4 months. David entered the ring just as Nitro crossed over 9 p.m. for the follow-up Rick-David confrontation after the video, saying that he had to live in Rick's shadow for over 20 years, with Rick, who had a title shot after winning the Battle Royal at Thunder the previous week, asking to get his shot tonight and instead face David at the next pay-per-view to set up the first match between them, telling David that the people at the back just want to manipulate him to create reality-based television with their family issues in front of the camera, saying that at the Great American Bash he's not gonna wrestle his dad but the wrestler Ric Flair, and after he embarrassed the family if David beats him he's gonna retire from the business, setting up a retirement match with Rick dealing with shoulder issues that might require surgery, closing the segment with Jarrett laying him out in the build to the main event, with the quarter which featured the Rick-David promo along with the Russo-Liz Luger cage angle opening big with a 3.1 rating, Nitro's highest rated opening segment of the year so far and the highest since the follow-up of Starrcade in December '99. After a week out in Morocco filming his first movie role, Rock was shown entering the building a minute into Raw to signal to viewers that he's back tonight, coming in front of over 18,000 at the Gund Arena in Cleveland, opening hot with Shawn Michaels following to make his TV return for the first time since last August, with him at the time taken off TV for the foreseeable future in part because of rumored heat with both Rock and Austin, introducing himself to the audience who might not have watched him in his prime, with the wrestling viewership exploding since then, saying that he was once the greatest wrestler in the business but is currently the commissioner, saying that his focus shifted in the last few months to his family and wrestling academy and he's gonna resign from his commissioner role. showing footage of his last appearance to cost Rock the title on the first SmackDown show in August '99 to build to the announcement of him again refereeing the Rock vs Triple H title match on Sunday, referring to his WrestleMania 12 match with Bret Hart, saying that he's the only man who has gone 60 minutes in the WWF, bringing out Vince for the response to taunt Shawn, asking if he still has it to open Raw with a 5.6 rating against the higher rated than usual Nitro quarter. Despite the month's high opening audience, Nitro was able to maintain almost its entire viewership in the second segment, loading up the opposed hour with big star power in every quarter, featuring the continuation of the Luger-Liz Russo angle with Nash coming out for the save before being attacked by Mike Awesome to set up a Nash Awesome ambulance match coming up next, followed by Scott Steiner ripping up Russo's format, telling him that he's not working within the wrestling rules to call out Rick and Tank Abbott for a fight outside the building, leading to the Goldberg monster truck showing up running over every car in the parking lot, with the announcers continuing to hype that Goldberg might be the driver and can show up at any moment to hold up viewers, while at the same time Raw picked up to a 5.8 rating with DX arriving and a Dudleys vs Snow and Blackman tag match going 3 minutes. Nitro picked up to a 2.9 rating for Nash vs Awesome going 5 minutes in the ambulance match to end with Page's interference with Nash powerbombing him off the stage through a table, followed by Hogan arriving to the building before Bischoff came out cutting a promo challenging Page to a match with Ernest Miller as protection, bringing out Page to take out both to set up Seed making his TV return for the first time since April 10th. Ending up with him turning on Page to join Eric before Hogan ran in for the save, setting up the angle of Bischoff turning Horace against Hulk with the idea that both Russo and Bischoff are turning the Flair and Hogan families against each other, while Raw Against It had 2 matches in the quarter, first with Kurt Angle vs Rikishi in a quick match to set up a 6-man tag for the pay-per-view with Edge, Christian and Too Cool coming out, along with the Godfather vs Crash Hardcore title match, while Big Show was waiting for Shane to arrive in the parking lot throughout the hour, holding a 5.9 to 2.9 rating margin. With Nitro holding stronger than usual since the start of the hour, hovering around the 3 rating range to draw its highest opposed hour in months with a 2.9 rating overall. The only significant drop of the night came in the final quarter between 9:45 to 10 p.m. in large part because of what was happening on Raw, with Rock's return segment taking place at the same time, featuring a Hogan 3-way match against Kidman and Horace going 5 minutes in between 2 commercial breaks to end with Horace turning heel and Hogan doing a 2.5 rating. Vince was back out along with Triple H and Stephanie, saying that it's good that Michaels has left the building before he got to him, while turning to Rock saying that tonight, after a week off, to make sure that he doesn't have any ring rust heading into Sunday, he will face another champion in the main event with a Rock vs Chris Benoit submission match set for later tonight, followed by Triple H hyping the Iron Man match, saying that they're going into the one match nobody in the business wants to touch, while warning Michaels to call the match properly or despite their past he will have no future, bringing out Rock to a massive reaction for the response hyped in the past week, saying that Hunter has been running his mouth for a week questioning if Rock would agree to go an hour, officially accepting the challenge and telling Hunter that there's something that eats him alive and that as good as he is, Rock was always better, while also warning Michaels, bringing up the last time he cost him the title, saying that he better call the match straight down the middle or he will take him out, closing the promo hyping both the 60-minute match and the Benoit main event tonight, with the segment jumping over 900,000 viewers to a first-hour high 6.5 rating. Russo and David came out for commentary in the main event with the show already past 10 p.m., followed by Flair and Jericho making their entrances and going 6 minutes for the title to end in a surprise finish, with Flair winning the world title for the 15th time to a big reaction, as after the Flair-Russo segments already did months-high numbers in the first hour. The Flair vs. Jericho match saw Nitro jump over 1 million viewers to a 3-month-high opposed segment 3.3 rating in the 11-minute overrun, as Nitro heavily built on the Flair-Russo program along with the boost of the show-long tease of Goldberg making his return with the constant monster truck appearances. Also drew a 4-month high 3.1 overall rating with even more viewers than the debut show on April 10 to make it the most watched show of the Russo-Bischoff era to date. With the big spike this week coming in the fourth quarter and going head-to-head with the Flair title match, Raw's top-of-the-hour quarter featuring a Chris Jericho vs. Bob Holly hardcore match going 5 minutes and not helped by including 2 commercial breaks, saw a big turnover of viewers from Raw to Nitro, with Raw dropping from a 6.5 to 5.6 while Nitro picked up from a 2.5 to 3.3, despite Raw also having 3 minutes unopposed with Nitro going off the air at 10:12 p.m. After Nitro went off the air, Raw picked up big from 10:15 with Shane McMahon arriving for the Big Show confrontation, booking him in a handicap match against Test and Albert, with them set for a match on Sunday, bumping Raw over 1.3 million viewers from a 5.6 to a 6.7 rating, with a third of the Nitro audience watching the Flair-Jarrett finish switching to Raw. While next week WCW won't be able to take advantage of the momentum coming out of the stronger numbers this week, as Nitro would start an hour earlier from 7 to 9, while in the opposite direction Raw, coming off the Judgment Day pay-per-view, would have a full 2-hour broadcast unopposed to draw a huge audience from 9 to 11. Rock vs. Chris Benoit went 7 minutes in the main event submission match, with the story of the match being that Vince booked it in Benoit's favor, as Rock is usually not using any submissions, leading to a series of exchanges with Rock pulling out different holds including an armbar and a figure 4 to have the match won, before the McMahons interfered with Vince signaling for the bell the moment Benoit got the crossface for the first time in a Montreal remake for him to go over, setting up the post-match brawl with Jericho running in and Rock taking out Hunter with a rock bottom through a table to close the show, with the Rock-Benoit main event jumping over 1.2 million viewers to peak the night into the 7 rating range for the first time in 2 weeks, heading into the 60-minute Iron Man match in 6 days.